Hello everyone, I'm Yogesh. Welcome back to Data Engineering Labs. In our previous episode, we learned how to retrieve data using the select statement. But there is one problem. What if our table contains hundreds, thousands, or even millions of records, and we need only a specific set of them? That's where filtering comes in. In today's episode, we will learn how to filter data using where clause. We will start with simple comparisons and gradually move towards more powerful filtering techniques such as and, are, between, in, like, and null handlings. By end of this episode, you will be able to write queries that retrieves exactly the data you are looking for. So let's get started. Before we dive into queries, let's have a quick look at what we will cover in today's episode. We will start with a quick recap of our previous episode. Then we will understand why filtering is important and introduce where clause. From there, we will work with different filtering techniques, starting with comparison, followed by and, or, and not. We will then look at between and in, followed by string matching using like. Finally, we will understand how to handle null data. And of course, we will put everything into practice with hands-on questions and assignment. We will finish with a data engineering best practice, which you can apply in your real-world SQL projects. So let's start with a quick recap of what we learned in the previous episode. So in our previous episode, we started by understanding a database, schema, and table, and how these objects are organized in a SQL server. Then we learned dot notation using database, schema, and table hierarchy to identify objects in database. We also created our table and loaded data into those tables from CSV file. Once our data was ready, we started mastering the select statement. We learned how to select all the columns, select only columns we need, use aliases, combine data using concat, and retrieve unique values using distinct. We also learned how to limit the number of record returned using top. So now we know how to retrieve data. But what if we don't need all the records? So that's exactly what we are going to solve in today's episode with where clause. So now let's understand why do we actually need filtering. Imagine our employee table has 100,000 employees. And if we simply run select star, SQL Server will return all 100,000 records. But what if my requirement is to find only employees from Bangalore or employees who are earning more than 100K or all the employees in HR department or employees who are currently active. So I don't need the entire table. We need only the specific record that satisfy our requirement. That's the purpose of filtering. Filtering allows us to narrow down our results and retrieve only the data we are interested in. And in the real world, this is extremely important because data engineer and analyst are constantly working with large data set and specific business requirements. So if the select answers the questions, what column do I want? Filtering helps us which row do I want? And that's where the where clause comes in. Now that we understand why filtering is important, let us see how we actually do it in SQL. In SQL, where clause is used to filter rows based on a condition. The basic syntax is very simple. First, we start with the select statement to specify what columns we need. Then we specify our table name using from. And finally, we use the where clause followed by the condition to decide what rows should be returned. For example, in this current statement, we are asking SQL Server to return all the employees where department ID equals to 3. Now here SQL Server will check each record and only the record that satisfy our condition will be included in the region. So remember this simple idea. The select decides what column we want and the where decides which rows we want. Now that we understand where clause, let's see different operators which we can use to build the condition. Now let's start with the first type of filtering, comparison operators. The comparison operators allows us to compare column values with the specified value and filter the records based on that comparison. So we have 6 commonly used operators. First one is equals to. Now this compares the column values and finds all the records where value is exactly equal to the specified value. For example, salary equals to 80,000. So this will give us all the employees who are earning exactly 80,000. Then we have not equal to. Now this will compare the column value and find all the records where values are different from the specified values. For example, country not equals to India. So this will give us all the employees who are not from India. Then we have greater than. So this will compare and find all the values where value is greater than the specified value. For example, salary is greater than 80,000. So this will give us all the employees who are earning more than 80,000. That is excluding 80,000. Then we have greater than or equal to. Now this will find all the records where value is greater than or equal to the specified value. For example, salary is greater than or equal to 80,000. So this will give us all the employees who are earning 80,000 or more. Similarly, we have less than. So this will find all the records where value is less than the specified value. For example, salary is less than 80,000. So this will give us all the employees who are earning less than 80,000. Again, that is excluding 80,000. And then lastly, we have less than or equal to. So now this will find all the records where value is less than or equal to the specified value. For example, salary less than equal to 80,000. So this will give us all the employees who are earning 80,000 or less than 80,000. Now these operators are straightforward, but the important thing is to understand what relationship we are asking SQL Server to check. Now let's practice each one of these with our employee data. So now I'm inside my SSMS and connected to SQL Server. Let's practice all the comparison operators first. But before that, let's go ahead and execute use data engineer labs so that we are not writing data engineer labs again and again. But in production scenarios, we might use database.schema.table name. Now let's see how exactly we use the filter condition. So for that, we have first is, as we said, we have select, and then we give all the column names like column 1, comma column 2, and comma column 3, and dot. Okay, then we specify our table name like from table name. So for example, let's say we want from table name, and then we initiate the filter condition using where keyword. So this is our where keyword will initiate the filter. Now we have to give the condition. So after that, we have to follow with the condition. Okay, a condition could be, for example, let's say column 1 equals to 1, something like that. Right? So this is one of the condition where I want column 1 equals to 1. So only with the value where column 1 equal to 1 should be displayed. So that's how we will specify a condition. That's how we will give a condition. Okay. Now let's go ahead and practice all the comparison operators first. So we will start first with the equal to condition. So for that, let's try to find out all the employees who are from India. Right. So we will use equal to operator and try to find out all the employees who are from India. So for that, this is our first one. So for that, let's say select star from. So this is what our select statement. Now star means all the column I want, and then from, and then I have to give the table name, which is our schema.table name, employees, HR.employees. Now I use where keyword. This is where I have initiated my filter condition. So if I'm not specifying where, means I'm not able to initiate any filter condition. So then I have to give the condition where after that condition. So now our condition is we want all the employee from India. So let's say country equals to India. So we will see country equals to India. Now this is India is a string. That's why I have to give it inside the single quote. I think I have already said that in our previous sessions, but yeah. So this is how we specify any string. So now when I executed this, you see we got 18 results. You can see on the right bottom side, or you can see from the result pane also. Okay, and now we got 18 results, and if we look into the country column, we see only India because we have requested all the employee who are only from India. So we got 18 employee who are from India. Now let's go ahead and test not equal to condition. So let's say we want to find out all the employees who are not from India, or all the employees who are from other than India. So for that, we will use not equals to condition. Now for that, let's say again, we have to use select and then the column name, we want everything. So let's start from, then the table name, our HR schema dot table name, which is our employee table. Now again, we have to use where keyword, initiate the filter first. So this is how I'm initiating my filter, and then country. Now we don't want anything from India, so we'll use not equals to. So our less than and equal to sign typed together uh, typed together will give us not equal to condition. So not equals to India, right? So let's go ahead and execute this. Let's see. Yeah, so we got 82 results. So there were 18 employees from India out of 100. Remaining 82 are from not from India. So as we can see here, we don't find any value that like India in our country column. Okay, now let's move ahead to the next one. We want to find all the employees who are earning more than 100,000. So let's find out all the employees who are earning more than 100,000. For that, we will use greater than, because we want all the employees who earn more than 100,000. So we say select again star from hr.employee employee, where this is how we initiate our condition. Again, where salary, since we want to check salary now, so we will use the column salary. Now we want all the salary which is greater than 100,000. So salary is greater than the specified value, which is 100,000. So now if we execute this, now salary is greater than 100,000. So let's go ahead and execute this. And once we execute this, we see 66, there are 66 employees who are earning more than 100,000, right? So we see here the bottom also 66. And if we look into the salary column, we should not see any value which is less than or even equal to 100K, because we are not including 100K also in this. Now let's include 100K also, which is our next operator as well. So we will find all the employees who are earning 100K or more than 100K. So for that, we will use greater than or equal to, because we want to find out both. So now let me copy this and paste it. So we want select star from hr.employee where salary is greater than or equal to. So we'll use greater than or equal to sign here because you want both. Let's go ahead and execute this. So once we execute greater than or equal to, now we have 67 results. That means there is one employee who is earning 100K. Okay, so the very first employee itself, we see he is earning 100K exactly. So now we should see no more employee are earning 100K. Yeah. Now let's validate also if there is only one employee who is earning 100K. So for that, what we will do, we will select star from employee where salary is equal to exactly 100K. So we will use equals to sign now. Yeah, so there is only one employee who was earning because he has resigned. As I said, the employment status is resigned, so he was earning 100K, right? Let's move to the next operator. Okay, let me re-execute this. Yeah, now let's move to the next operator. Now next operator is less than. So let's find out all the employees who are earning less than 100,000, right? So we should say all the employees who are earning less than 100,000. For that, we will use less than sign now this time. So select star from hr.employees, right? hr.employee. Again, we have to initiate our filter, which is using where keyword, where salary. Now, since we want the employee who are earning less than, which is a salary column, so we will use salary. Now salary is less. This is our less than sign, so less than 100K. Salary is less than 100,000. Let's go ahead and execute this. So we had 67 employees who are earning exactly 100K or more than 100K. The remaining 33 employees are earning less than 100K, as we can see. And also we can verify the same by looking into the salary column. We should not see anything which is more than 100K or even including 100K. Now let's practice the final comparison operators, which is less than or equal to. So we want to find out all the employees who are earning either 100K or less than 100K. For that, we will use again less than or equal to sign. So we will use the same query, select star from hr.employees where salary is less than are equal to, there is no space. Remember, even here also there is no space, and even here also no space. So whenever we are using the comparison operators, even we are using two comparison operators, there should not be given any space. So less than or equal to 100k, right? Now let's go ahead and execute this, and this will give us all the employees who are earning either 100k or less than 100k. And as we already saw, only one employee was earning 100k, which is 1002, and so we had 33 employees who are earning less than 100k, and now we have 34 employees who are earning more than 100k. Okay, so this is how we apply any filter condition. So right now we have practiced only simple comparison operators, but this is how we apply any condition to our query using where keyword followed by the condition and filter out the data. Now that we have seen how to compare individual value, but what if we want to apply more than one condition? That's where our logical operators comes in. The logical operators allow us to combine more than one condition to build more powerful filters. We have three important logical operators. First one is AND. What this means is all the conditions specified must be true for a record to be returned. For example, country equals to India and salary is greater than 80,000. So we have two conditions here. First one, country equals to India, and second, salary is greater than 80,000. So this will return only the employees who are from India and earning more than 80,000. Then we have OR. What this means is at least one of the condition must be true. So for example, country equals to India or country equals to USA. Again, we have more than one condition. First one is country equals to India. Second one is country equals to USA. But for a record to be returned, any one of these should be true. So this will return all the records where employee are from India or from USA. And then lastly, we have not. So this will exclude the records that matches the specified condition. For example, where not of country equals to India. So this will give us all the employees who are not from India. Now let's practice each one of these with our employee data. Okay, I'm back to my SSMS now. Let's open a new query executor and rename it as logical operators, because we are going to work on the logical operators now. Now let's go ahead and execute use database, our data engineer labs, and set up the environment. Okay. So now this time we are going to work on the logical operators, right? So logical operators, what this means is we are going to write more complex filter condition, right? So for example, let's say we want to find out all the active employees from India, right? Find all the active employees from India. So this has two conditions. First thing is employee should be from India, and then they should be active. They should not be on leave, they should not be resigned. So how to find this? Since we have more than one condition here to satisfy, so we'll select star from. Now we are selecting everything. Select star from HR.employee, our HR schema and employee table. HR.employees. Okay. Now we initiate our filter condition where. Now what we want, first thing is we want all the active employees from India. So let's say first we want all the employees from India. So country equals to India, right? And then what do we want? We also want them to be active. So both conditions should be true. So we will use AND, right? Because we want both the condition to be true. So we will see condition 1 and then we will specify another condition, which is our employment status, which holds all the employment status is active, right? So we will use employment status equals to active. Let's go ahead and execute this. So how we apply multiple condition is select star from table name where we are initiating. Now this is my complete condition. So we have two comparison operators used here. Both are equals to. They are grouped by one logical operator, which is AND. So AND means both the conditions should be true for a record to be returned. So let's go ahead and execute this. We execute this. So now we see all the employees from India who are currently active. So if you see, the employment status is active and they all are from India. So earlier in the previous video, you might have seen we had around 18 employees from India, but now when we used or when we filtered out all the active employees from India, where country equal to India and employment status equal to active, we got only 6 employees. Okay, so this is how we apply more complex filter condition. Now let's practice one more time the same condition, and we want to find all the employees who are earning more than 80K in India. Right, so let's say we want to find all the employees who are earning more than 80K. Right, find all the employees who are earning more than 80K in India. Right, so how to decide that? Again, select star from table name, which is your HR.employees. Let's say HR.employees table. And now we initiate our where condition using where keyword. And then what do we want? We want all the employees from India, and they should be earning more than 80K also, right? So first thing, let's see country equals to India. So this is how we will find all the India employees. And then we also want all of them to be earning more than 80K. So earning means salary. So let's check their salary. Now salary should be greater than 80K. Right, salary should be greater than 80K. So this is how we apply. Okay. So now we see there are many employees who are from India and earning 80K. So there are around 14. Now let's add one more thing. All the active employees who are earning more than 80K, right? All the active employees who are earning. So we will add another and condition, and we will check for the employment status also, right? Employment status equal to active. Right, employment status equal to active. So now you see I have one more logical operator added, which is and again. So what I want, first I want all the employee from India, then second I want them to be earning more than 80K. Also I want them to be active. So this is how we apply all the nested conditions. So now we have only 3 employees who are from India and earning more than 80K, and they are also active. Right, this is how we use our logical operators. So we say country equals to India and earning more than 180K, sorry, and earning and employment status equals to active. Right, this is how we use. And now let's move on to the next logical operator, which is our OR operator. For that, let's find out all the employees from Singapore or Germany. So we want to find out all the employees who are either from Singapore or from Germany. So we'll say select star from our table name HR.employees, where what do we want? They want, okay, employees are either from Singapore or from Germany. So we say country, because this is how we find the origin of the employee. Country equals to, first thing, let's say Singapore or, because we want anyone to be true, like they can be from Singapore or they can be from Germany. So again we will use or, country equals to Germany. Right, so now we should see both the employees who are from Singapore and Germany, because for record to be written, any one of these should be true. So let's go ahead and execute this. So now we see all the employees who are either from Singapore or from Germany, right? We see Singapore also in the country, we see Germany also in the country. We see both are together. So this is how we can find all the employees who are from either Singapore or Germany. So this is how the OR operator will work. So we can use two conditions using OR, and the record will be displayed if any of the condition is true. Now let's check another one, and we want to find out all the employee who reports to department 1 or department 3. Right, all the employee who wants to report to department 1 or department 3, same thing. So select star from HR.employees where now we want they are reporting to department, so we'll use department ID. Sorry. So we'll use department ID. Department ID equals to 1 or department ID equals to 3. Department ID equals to 3. Right. So we can use space or no space also, it's fine. But yeah, so we are doing select star from employees table where department ID equal to 1 or department ID equals to 3, because we want employees who are reporting to any of these two. So we will get all the employees who are reporting to, you say I can see 1 and 3 both. So they are reporting to 1 or 3. So this is how we group our logical operator OR, where we want any of the condition to be true, so we will use R, and when we want all the conditions to be correct, we use AND. For example, here I can also use R. They are from Australia. Let's say country equals to Australia, right? So I can also use country equal to Australia, and I will get all the employees who are either from equal to country equals to Australia. So you can get all the employees who are either reporting to department ID 1 or department ID 3 or their countries from Australia. Sorry. Let's see. Yeah. So now we can see there are department ID 4 also got included because they are from Australia, right? So any of the condition is true, either department ID equal to 1 or department ID equal to 3 or country equal to Australia, and the record will be displayed. So now if you see, there is department ID 4 also, department ID 5 also, department ID 8 also included, right? So we have many other departments also included because they are reporting to Australia. They are from Australia. Here, for example, let's say we have one employee who is in department 5, but he is from Australia. Okay. So this is how we want. This is how we can get all the employees. Now let's look at our last logical operator, which is NOT. For that, let's say we want to find out all the employees who are not active. So who are not active currently. So what we will do, select star from our table HR.employees where not, we use the keyword not. Let me write it in uppercase, not off. We don't write off, but we call it as off employment status, not of employment status equal to active. Right. So yes, let's go ahead and execute this. So now we should not see any employee who are active. So we see all the employees who are either resigned or leave, right? But they are not currently active. So this is how we use the not operator. So instead of using not logical, not comparison operator, we can use not keyword to filter out all the employees who are other than the given condition. Now let us look at two very useful operators, between and in. Firstly, between operators. So between uses a specified range to filter data, including both minimum and the maximum values. For example, here we want to find out all the employees who are earning between 60,000 and 90,000, including both 60,000 and 90,000. So we can use between operators like this. We can find the value. Then we have in operators. So in uses a list to find the data. We use in when we have a possible multiple matches. For example, we want to find out employees from India or USA or Canada. So we can use a simple in operator rather than using multiple or operators. So here is an easy way to remember this. Between uses a range to filter the data and in uses a list to filter the data. Now let's practice both of these with our employee data. Okay, now let's practice our between in operators as well. So let me open a new query and rename it as between and in operators. So again, let's go ahead and use our database, Data Engineer Labs, for setting up the environment. Okay. So now let's say we want to find out all the employees who joined between or who joined from 2019 to 2020, something like that. So for that, what we'll do, we'll use between operators. So we want to find out all the employees who joined between 2019 and 2020. So let's use our between operators. So select star from, sorry, select star from hr.employees where. So this where keyword is going to be same whether we are using a comparison operator, whether we are using a logical operator or in or anything. If we have to apply a filter, we have to start with the where condition, where keyword. So where. Now what do we want? We want the employees who join between. So hire date, we have a column hire date. Let's say hire date. Then we use keyword between. Okay. So be it between. Now we specify what value you want to set between. So we have a minimum value and we have a maximum value. So minimum value is 2019. So let's say 2020, sorry, 2019, 01 and 01 because we have in the date format, and we want everything to be 20, up to 2020. So we have to say minimum and maximum. When we are using between, so we have to say minimum and maximum. So maximum is 2020. So let's say 2020 since it is a date. So 2020 and we want up to the 2020. So let's say we say 2020 12 31. So now this is how we specify our between operator. So what we do, column name and then the between keyword which defines the range, and then we use the minimum value, and using AND keyword we specify the maximum value. So let's go ahead and execute this, and if we execute this, we see all the employees who joined between 2019 and 2020. So there are around 32 employees who joined between 2020 and 2019 and 2020. As you can see, all the added should be less than 2020, like 2020, 02 and 2019 and so on. Okay, so this is how we use our between operator. Let's see one more example and let's try to find out all the employees who are earning between 50K and 80K. Let's find out all the employees who are earning 50K and. So you can pause the video and just try to write the query by yourself before moving ahead. So let's select star from hr.employees. Okay, hr.employees. I hope you are able to write the query. If not, you can follow me here. Where. Now what we want to compare salary because we want all the employees who are earning between 50K and 80K. So salary between, again we will use the between keyword, between, and this is the minimum value is 50K, which is including our 50K. So we should always remember minimum value also included in the filter criteria, so it will be included, and the maximum value is 80K. So if any employees who are earning 50K or 80K, they also will be included here in the result. So let's go ahead and run this, and what we see here, we see all the employees, and if you see the salary is somewhere in range of 50 to 80K, and we don't see anything more than or less than 50K or more than 80K. So this is how we use our between operator. So we start with the where condition and then we specify the column for which we want to give the range. Then we use the between keyword to initiate the range. Then we give minimum and the maximum. So this is how we use our between operator. Now let's move on to the in operator and let's find all the employees who are from Singapore or Germany. So we have used one OR condition where we have find all the employees who are from Singapore or Germany, but let's run the same using in operator. So how do we do? Select star from our employee table, which is hr.schema, hr.employees. Now where, again, without where, no filter condition will be allowed. So you have to use where. Now again, what do we want? We want employees from Singapore or Germany. So we have to specify the column name where we want to apply this, country in. We have to use the keyword in again. Earlier we used the keyword between, now we will use the keyword in. and then we have to specify list. So this list we have to specify it inside the round bracket, and since we are using strings, we will give it everything inside single quotes. So Singapore is one country, and then separated by comma we can give Germany, right? Germany, and then separated by comma we can get many more also. But this, let's go ahead and execute for Singapore and Germany first. So we'll see. Now if you see here, all the employees from Singapore are Germany. Okay, there is some spelling mistake, I believe. Yeah, Singapore or Germany. So now we see all the employees for either Singapore or Germany, right? Similarly, let's see another example of in condition, and let's find all the employee who works in department 1 or 2 or 3. So if we have multiple condition which can be true for same column, we can use the in condition. So let's find out all the employees who works in either department 1 or 2 or 3. So what we will do here, we will run select star from hr.employees hr.employees table. Again, we have to use where keyword here. Now what we want employee from department. So we'll use department ID. We'll use in keyword, and then we'll specify our list 1 or 2 or 3. Because all these are integer, so I can say without single quote also. So I'll give 1, 2, 3, and if I execute this, I should get all the employees who are either in 1 or 2 or 3. Now we say 1, 2, and 3, all department IDs, and only these. So this is how we use our in operator and the between operator. These are very powerful operators to filter the data within a range, okay, using a list or a minimum maximum value. Now let's understand two more important filtering concepts, like and null handling. First, we have like. So unlike the comparison operators we have seen so far, like is used for searching text based on a flexible pattern. The important thing to understand here is the wildcards. The SQL Server provides two commonly used wildcards with like. First one is percentage sign. The percentage sign represents 0 or 1 or more characters. The second one is underscore, and the underscore represents exactly one character. Let's understand all this with some examples. The first one is here, as you can see, capital A and then the percentage sign. That means the text starts with a capital A, and after that it could be anything like 0 or 1 or more characters. The second one is percentage sign and then the small a. That means the text ends with a small a, and it could be anything before small a like 0 or 1 or more characters. And then third, we have percentage sign, then an, and then again percentage sign. That means it contains an anywhere in the text, and it could be anything before a and then after n in the text. Then lastly, we have underscore, then small a, and then the percentage sign. As underscore represents exactly one character, so this says the second character of the text is small a, and it could be anything after the small a because of the percentage sign. Don't worry, we will practice all this to have more better understanding before we move forward. Now let's talk about the null. So null represents the data which is missing or not available in the SQL. For example, if an employee doesn't have a manager assigned, their manager ID might be null. To find those records, we will use simply it's null. And if you want to find all the records where manager ID is or the value is present, we will use it's not null. One important thing to understand here is we will not use equals to null or not equals to null, as SQL provides is null and is not null specifically to check null values. Now let's practice all this with our employee data. Now let's work on one more powerful operator, our pattern matching like operator. So let's first, we have like and null handling. So okay, let's go ahead and set up an environment by use database data engineer labs. So we'll practice the same questions. So for example, let's try to find out all the employees whose name starts with capital A. So find all the employees, find employees whose name starts with capital A. So what we'll do, select star from our HR.employee table, HR.employees table, where now we want to find out the first name. So let's say first name, and then for pattern matching, we have to use the keyword like, first name like, and then we have a wildcard. First thing, we have to give everything inside single quote. Let's say capital A, and then our percentage sign, and then again close the single quote. So now what this will say, after A, it could be anything. Percentage sign means anything, right? So after capital A, it could be anything. So since we want all the names who starts with capital A, so we will give capital A first and then everything. So let's go ahead and execute this. So we see all the employees whose first name starts with capital A, right? So if we list here, we have all the employees whose name are starting with capital A. So this is how we use our wildcard. So wherever we place this wildcard, after a keyword, after a letter or before a letter, so it could be anything after. Wildcard means anything. Now let's practice on the scenario where all the name ends with small a. So I think we have very similar examples here also, but let's see. Let's find all the employees whose name ends with small a. Our list. So what we will do for that? Try to write the query by yourself first by pausing the video. But if not, you can follow me. Select star from HR. Again, select star from HR.employees table. Where? Again, we will start with the like keyword. Sorry, we'll start with our column name, which is first name. Then we have pattern matching. We will use the like keyword. And if you notice, I'm giving everything inside single quote. Even the wildcard is also been given inside single quote. So first we want anything before small a, because last letter is small a. So it could be anything before small a. So we have given percentage here, percentage sign, because it could be anything before small a, any number, either 0 or 1 or more or anything, and then small a at the end. Let's go ahead and execute this. And we see all the employees whose name are ending with small a, like Oliva, Akira, Mia, Priya, Kira, many times Priya, Sophia, Kira. Everyone is ending with small a, right? So we can also limit this. Let's say we want to give it like, then after that we can give one underscore. So what this means is there has to be last second letter has to be small a. I don't know whether we have any scenario or not, but yeah, we have. For example, Lucas. Now second letter from last is small a. Lucas, Liam, right? That time small a. So this is how we specify a single character. So using underscore, we specify a single character. Okay, we'll practice more also. Now let's find out all the employees whose name contain AN. Right, so like anywhere in between it contains AM. So AN, you can try again. Select star from, because practicing only will help you to understand it more better. So you can practice all those wherever possible and wherever possible. So now let's say again first name like. Now we want the name whose name contains AN. It can be at the starting, it can be at the end, or it can be anywhere in between also. So what we will say, we'll start with single quote, percentage AN, and then again percentage, and then single quote. So what this means is, before and after AN, it could be anything. It can be the first character, it can be the last character, or it can be somewhere in the between also, right? So let's go ahead and execute this. And what we see all the employees whose name having AN. Like you see here, the first employee is having AN at the last. Now Daniel is having AN in between somewhere. Ethan, Daniel, Ethan, and Daniel. I think Ethan and Daniel are the only one. So Ethan is having AN at the last, and Daniel is having AN in between. Right? So this is how we can use wildcard percentage at both the sides to find any character or match any character after the specified character. Now let's try to find out, or let's see one more example of underscore. So let's try to find out the employees whose name second letter contains a, small a, right? So you can again pause the video and you can try to write the query from yourself, but if not, you can follow me along. So hr.employees table, where again first name, since we want to find the first name, and like keyword because we want to do the pattern matching, and then since we want the second letter to be small a, we will specify underscore first. That means one character, then small a, and then after that it could be anything. So this is how, like underscore, which is single character, and then small a, and then it could be anything, right? So let's go ahead and execute this. Let's see what we get. Okay, so we get like HA Aruto, HA Rahul, again Ruto, DA David, and so on. So for all of them, if you see, second letter is small a, right? Now let's see another scenario of, let's say we want to see third letter. So how can we find the third letter, right? So we will give 2 underscore. So for that, we will write select star from same HR.employees, where first name, right? So we will give first name like, and then we want to find the second letter first. So we'll give 2 underscore, like 1 underscore is for 1 character, 2 underscore is for 2 character, and let's say Rahul, like H. Since we have a match, so I'm going for this, and then percentage, and then I'll give. Let's go ahead and execute this. So now if you see here, the third letter, like first letter is underscore, second letter is unknown. So first letter unknown, second letter unknown, and then we have the third letter as H. So we have Rahul, Ethan, Rahul, John, where third letter is H, and so on, right? So this is how we can use underscore. And if we know the number of characters before or after a string, we can use underscore similarly to find more precise match, right? So this is very powerful operator to find a string, okay, and based on a pattern. And I would like you to practice all of these commands as much as possible. Now let's look into the null handling part. So let's say if you want to find out employees whose manager ID is null, right? So how can we do that? So similarly, we can just simply write, let's find out all the employees with manager ID is with null manager ID. So what we can do, select star from employees, like hr.employees, hr.employees, where manager ID, now we will use is null, keyword is null. Simple, right? So we will use manager ID is null. Let's go ahead and execute this. And as you can see, there is one employee whose manager ID is null. So this is how we will find all the null values. Okay. And similarly, if you want to find out all the employees without null manager ID, so what we will do here again is not null. So we will use the same query, select star from employees, where manager ID is not null, right? So this is how we will find all the employees whose manager ID is present or not missing, right? We should have 99 records. We have 99 rows here, as you can see also in the output. We have 99 rows, and all of them have some manager ID 1001, I believe. Yeah. So this is how we will handle null value using is null or is not null. All right. Now it's time for your episode 4 assignment. We have learned quite few filtering techniques today. So this assignment is designed to give you hands-on practice with everything we have covered. We will start with some simple comparison operators and gradually combine different filtering techniques. You can use our hr.employees table to solve the following questions. Now question 1. Find all the employees whose salary is greater than 80,000. Remember, this is greater than 80,000. Then display all the employees whose salary is less than or equal to the 60,000. You can add another comparison operators like try to find out all the employees from USA or all the employee who are currently active on leave and so on. Then we will move on to the logical operators where we will try to combine multiple comparison operators or multiple conditions and see how it goes. So you can try or start with trying to find employee from India and they have salary greater than 70,000. Similarly, find employee from India or USA, or you can add another countries also and try to find employee who are not from India as well. And you can also add a few more questions by applying multiple condition. For example, you can try to find out all the active employees from USA who are earning more than 100K, or try to find out all the active employees from USA and India who are earning more than 100K. Then we have between and in operator. So you can try to find out all the employees whose salary is between 60,000 to 90,000. And you can also try to find out the employees who joined before 2022 and 2024. And then you can try to find out all the employee who belongs to department 1 or 3 or 5. And also you can add furthermore, like you can try to find out all the employees for multiple countries. Then we will move on to like and null handling. And you can start with finding all the employees whose names start with A or any other letter. Then try to find out all the employees whose name ends with small n or any other letter. And then you can also try to, add multiple conditions here, like try to find out whose middle name is, small a or capital A, something like that. And then we will also practice null handling. So you can try to find out the employee who do not have ledger ID assigned. And remember, don't just copy the queries from the video, write it yourself and execute them. Look at the result and experiment by changing the condition. That's how you will actually become comfortable with SQL. Before we wrap up today, let's look at few of the data engineer best practices related to filtering. Firstly, filter your data as early as possible. Avoid retrieving entire datasets unnecessarily. Second, retrieve all the necessary columns and rows only. This keeps your query efficient and easier to understand. Third, combine your filters logically. Think through what you are trying to achieve with the SQL Server. Fourth, write your filters clean and readable. A query which is easier to understand is easy to maintain and debug. And finally, test your filters with a small dataset first before moving to production or a report. That's all for the today's session. Keep building, keep experimenting, and practice queries as much as possible. Thank you.